Hello, love. Told you I was making the video. Forgive me for being on the floor right now. Decided it'd be easier to do it this way. Like my shirt, today I am Fox. Foxes. This one says, "Don't fox with me." I think it's kind of cute. It's very fitting. One of the reasons I came over here before anything is because I wanted to show you somebody. Say hi. Okay. This here hold on, darling. I'm gonna have to just do it over this way. This here is my ivory. Hard to see him. Ivory. Say hi, baby. Say hi. Can't see him very well. Can't see him very well, but this is Ivory over here. This is ouch. Ow, I just hit myself. This is Ivory over here. My baby. Say hi, Ivory. Say hi. Say hi, baby. Say hi, baby. Look at him. He gets so skittish. He goes running. Anyway, I wanted a chance to talk to you a little more personal. Because you don't seem to understand some things. It's not a bad thing. Most people don't. I didn't for the longest time. I didn't understand things about myself until they started coming into view. Things started to happen. Happening more now, which is how I know that it's going to happen very soon. See, my life has been ups and downs, medically and other ways. I always knew something was different. Being hurt at a young age, being in a halfway type house because they had to keep me safe from the person until I could testify at trial. I was 4 years old. I guess start there. He was 36. I was 4. I've been hurt a number of times in my life, but that was probably the worst. My mom had left me and my sisters in his care while she went to work. Never thought anything of it. He took me outside, believe it or not, in the premise of playing. Went out back. We were living at Cumberland Gardens. And first he raped me. Then he sodomized me with his fist. And then he sodomized me with tree limbs. And then he took off. Before my mom ever came home, my sister Kathy grabbed me up and ran me to a neighbor's house. Told them what had happened. My mom came home, there were already cops and ambulances there. And mom was dumbfounded. She was like, "Oh my God, what happened?" She didn't know it was one of her kids yet. We went down and we filed charges. About a day or two later, we got a knock on our door from a woman that everybody in Cumberland Gardens called Sister and Bob, a friend of ours. And she said, "Sharon, you gotta get Bridget, and you gotta get her the hell out of here within a couple of minutes. Like, get her out of here now." So we put things, at first we, like, blocked up the door furniture and stuff. And we called the cops and we said, "What's going on?" And she said, "Well, right now, Peter and his family are loading up and they're coming over here. And if you're still here, they're going to kill you. Keep Bridget from testifying." So we put furniture up against the door, secure it until the cops got there. By the time the cops got there, he and his family were right across the street with guns. And he watched the cops load us up. We stayed at a shelter type house for months until the trial came up. Then I testified against him. Nobody could know where we were at. Even my grandparents, when they'd come to visit, they had to come blocks and blocks away. And we had to meet them there. And they had to drop us off there. He was found guilty. He was sent to prison. He did get out years later. And he raped and killed 3 other women. Decided he was not going to make that mistake again. I've never seen him again, thankfully. He wasn't the only time, like I told you. My biological father at the time was the only time, and some people tried to say it was because of his experiences with war and his other experiences. He didn't like women. And third time, it was a mental health patient. At the time, a friend that I thought was a friend that I knew. The fourth time was Elijah's father, Jamie. And I wouldn't give up Elijah for nothing, but still wasn't the way I would have wanted. It's not the way I would have wanted to think about having a child. Anyway, my experience before, most people believed, all my doctors believed I couldn't have children because of the damage done inside. She fell off her chair when she told me that I was pregnant. Then things started happening medically. I found out at 11 years old that I had hydrocephalus that nobody knew about. I'd gone for 11 years. Nobody knew about it. My head was bigger than an alien, and still nobody caught on. And the nurse and the doctor looked at my mom. The nurse and the neurosurgeon at the time looked at my mom and she said, "How in the hell is she still alive?" Nobody had survived past 1 without a shunt when they were born with it. And they had known because of abnormalities in the brain that they found through imaging and testing that I was born with it. Chiari, which is why I have this. See, let me show you what happens when I don't have this on. And this is what happens. So I push it up. And it falls down. And it doesn't stay up at all. Which is why I have the brace on. It doesn't hurt. But due to Kyrie, and due to the fact that I've never had the Kyrie surgically taken care of, which one surgery is going to lead to another surgery, going to lead to another surgery, going to lead to another surgery. I didn't want to go through it unless I have to. So, I never had it fixed. So, for the time being, my neck falls like this. But the thing is, it won't always be like this. When I was 17, it's the experience I keep telling you about. I had contracted meningitis and spinal meningitis at the same time. From a shunt malfunction, from a shunt infection. It used the shunt, went all the way into the brain, it went all the way down into the spine. I don't remember much about that night. I remember feeling really sick. I remember going into the bathroom and throwing up. I remember going into grandma's seizures. I don't remember anything else. At least not physically Here, I don't remember anything else. I remember the experience. Next thing I knew, I was on a path, and I was walking, and there were a lot of people in front of me, and there were a lot of people behind me. And I was talking to someone, and at the time I didn't realize who I was talking to. He's meant to be one of my guides. We got to a cast iron gate, and the gate just swung open for everyone that was coming. And inside the gate, there was a garden. A big, lush garden. Every kind of tree you can think of, every kind of food you can think of. Grass, streams, birds, animals. It was absolutely gorgeous. I had no intentions at this time of coming back. None. We went a certain distance, and there was family that we had lost. My grandmother was there. My uncle was there. My brother was there. My brother had actually grown. He was born dead. He was stillborn. And yet, the brother that came before me in this experience had to have been the age. I was 11 at the time, and I was still the oldest of Bobby's children. So he would have been like 10. She was a year after me and a year before Bonnie. So he would have been about 10 years old. And my grandmother and my uncle both died of cancer years before that. And we spent a good hour and a half together, what seemed. And then the people who had been in the line were taken to the spring. They were each given a piece of apple, and they were taken underneath the spring. No one ever saw them again after they left. When my turn came, I was ready to take the apple. I was ready to go into the spring. I was ready to stay. I didn't want to go back. I was completely content. I didn't want to go back. My guide took me aside and told me that somebody had to talk to me. There were things that I had to know about myself, about who I would become, what I would become, the things that would happen in my life. And I couldn't stay. It wasn't even an option. So we went to a room. It's a throne room. Big room, beautiful room. Very, very, very bright. And there were 3 people in the room. There was an older man, there was a younger man, there was my guide, and there was me. They showed me pictures, images, told me things that at the time I didn't understand. It was like one great big puzzle for years. And then I started to put it together. I started having dreams that later came true. Sometimes I'd have the dreams well in advance of when they would happen. I can remember I had a dream, and then a year later to the date it happened. One thing I was told back then was I was in that throne room. I was told that my mate was a vampire. I was also told that the prophecy involved the fact that I would enable him to take on powers and traits that I myself would have. I was told I was not meant to be any normal person. I was something very, very different. I was told that I would have many abilities as time went on. I would have many, even to go so far as powers as time went on. I was told at one point, when my mate was revealed to me, the awakening night would come. It wasn't called an awakening, but after seeing some of the images that it showed of what would happen that night, I later, after started talking to you and learning about the awakening, realized that's exactly what it was. Some of the pictures, some of the images that were shown to me, I would be in the middle of the room, and the awakening would begin. But the difference was, and you guys will see this that night, and don't be scared. I would light up. And I don't mean just figuratively, I mean literally. My whole body would light up like a Christmas tree. Because the power that I was meant to have, the power that was saved for that date, would unlock. Remember I mentioned about unlocking? I had an entire beam of light all around me. The light would disappear into me. It all happened in front of everyone. Once our special night happens, once you bite into me, the last key to be unlocked is blood. Now I know this sounds cryptic. I've always been a cryptic person, and I don't understand the whole gist of everything. I only understand bits and pieces and parts that I've been shown. Every so often, I'm shown more parts, more things that'll happen. Within the beam of light that will happen that night, in front of everyone, everything will be restored. My neck, my legs, and they happened one time before when I was in the chair the first time. When I was in the chair the first time, I got a vision that 3 days later, I would stand up and walk up out of the chair. I was never in it, and that's exactly what happened. 3 days later, for no apparent reason, I got told to get up and get out. I stood up, and that was it. I hadn't been in the chair again for 5 years, till 5 years ago. That's what I told you. You talk about being reborn as part of this, and it is. But for me, it's going to be far more than just reborn. For you, it's going to be far more than just reborn. And you won't understand it till it happens. The thing is, literally, you will have downloads like I do, which is basically the universe sends me messages. It in the form of pictures, videos that go through my mind, visions. I've had it ever since the experience of 17. I've had it before that, but they were never as strong. They strengthened after 17, and they've only gotten stronger as I've gotten older. Literally, you'll be able to think something. I mean, literally think it. Literally, something as simple as, I want $100, and all of a sudden something will happen and you'll have $100. It'll be just that simple. You really don't get it. You won't get it until that night. And it sounds so hard to believe. It sounds so out there. But I've actually had this happen. I've actually had times when all I had to do was think of something and it happened. Once the night comes, once everything is unlocked. Right now, I'm at partial unlock. There's certain things that have been unlocked already, but the bigger things require what is gonna be. It's gonna happen that night. Bigger things require you. Because basically, you will become different. Far more than just vampire. And I don't know how to explain that to you without it physically happening. It happens soon enough. I've seen it. 3 months to the day I got the wedding invitation. It'll happen. 3 months to the day. It'll happen. And it's hard to explain it. It's hard to explain it without showing you. Because once you see it, there'll be no going back. You can't go back once it's happened. You won't want to go back once it's happened. You'll see. You won't want to go back. I have been groomed for this by my guides. I've been groomed for this by my spirit animals. Groomed for this since I was 17. Groomed for this experience, unlocking everything else. And my body, I've noticed just in the last couple, maybe 2 weeks, has started to change. There's different inklings, there's different things happening that are allowing me to know. It's changing. I get inklings, I get downloads, I get playing with these damn earphones. In the last 2 weeks, things have gotten stronger. The downloads, the pictures, the messages, they've gotten stronger. Last night, I don't know exactly how you felt. I astraled to you. I saw a fort. Not a big fort. Pretty general sized. There was a different barrack type quarters. 13 men to a quarter. You were among the 13 men in that quarter. I went in a white outfit. Completely white, headdress. I saw you working on jewelry. Saw you talking. Going out. I can only assume on either feedings or on patrols. And I could see everything as if it was right in front of my face physically. The downloads, I get them and they are strong and as physical as if they were physically there. And they're only getting stronger. If you knew what I know already, things would have already happened because you'd already want what's coming. But I'm not worried about it. It'll be here then, it'll be here regardless of what time, whether it's the exactly 3 months from now or it's now, they're just gonna get stronger. At first, they're gonna be overwhelming to you because you're not used to them. Being able to, you go from worrying about your life day to day, worrying about how you're gonna get this and how you're gonna get that, to all of a sudden, all you gotta do is think about it and you have it. It'll be a little overwhelming at first, in a positive way, but it'll be overwhelming. But as you get better at it, like any gift, as you master it, it'll be easier and easier. And it will seriously allow you to have whatever you want at any given time. I know because I've been doing it. I know that as it goes stronger, you'll be able to come into more. As you get better at it and you harness it, you'll see that you'll be able to get the bigger and bigger things. I'll help you manage it. I'll help you master it. But it is actually going to happen. It is actually something that is going to happen. It is real. I've seen it in my own life many, 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 many times. Look forward to it. Number one, I look forward to being with you. Number two, I look forward to you having the positives of getting what you want in life, and not having to wait, not having to worry. Knowing that anytime you want something for yourself or for Jessica, it'll just be. Just like what it has for me and for Elijah and other things. It'll just happen. You won't be able to understand how it happened or why it happened. It'll just happen. So although that wasn't the easiest way, and you're probably still like, what is she talking about? I really can't explain in most ways more than that what it's gonna be like. Just gonna have to wait until it's time. Once it's time, and once you take that first drink, you'll know. It'll hit you like a ton of bricks. The first time. First time it'll hit you like a ton of bricks. After that, it'll get easier. After that, it'll get easier, but the first time it'll hit you like a ton of bricks. But in a positive way. So, love, let me know what you think. If you have questions, ask. Try to answer them as best I can. The other thing I can tell you is prepare. The only other thing I can tell you is prepare. Because it's something you're never, ever gonna forget. And once it becomes a regular part of your life, you'll never go back to the way you lived. You'll never worry again. I know this very matter-of-factly because I've been doing it. So I'll see you soon, love. Bless you.